Dear Mr. Stu, thank you for all your content. I am obsessed with your shorts, and I am able to use a lot of the things you teach as I handle my own children and the ones I work with as a teacher's aide. Well, thank you so much for watching, for tuning in, for using the strategies and the different things that I talk about. And thank you for the work that you do as a teacher's aide. I know that that is really tough. I know school just started back here in Louisville. I'm not exactly sure where you are coming from, but school's just getting going. So I'm sure that your life is more hectic now than it was over the summer. Let's see what they go on to say. I'm writing to you to ask a question about my child's therapy sessions, okay? Recently, my child has been exhibiting disruptive behavior at home and at school. However, during their therapy sessions, they never seem to bring up these issues. Yes, this is one that I hear all the time. They never seem to bring up these issues. As a parent, I'm worried that they are not addressing their behavior and it may continue to escalate. Can you please explain why a therapist does not talk to my child about the disruptive things they have been doing? Thanks so much. I'll be watching. Fantastic question. And this is one that I get asked all the time because I use techniques that are called play therapy techniques. And using play therapy is even more that whole, like, what are you even doing? How is this even working? How is this helping? This happens all the time where parents want to know, listen, I told you they got in a fight at school. Why are you not sitting them down and talking to them about the fight they had at school? Let me break it down for you. The simplest way that I can put it is by saying, if you can see it, it's not the problem. That's it. If you can see it, it's not the problem. So if you are seeing behaviors, that is a problem, but it's not the problem. If you have a child who's getting in fights constantly, the fights are a problem, but it's not the problem. If you have a child with low self-esteem and so they're starting to lash out at other people, do you see the low self-esteem is the problem? The lashing out is the behavioral response to the problem. As a therapist, all the time people want me to sit down with their kids and give them a lecture about why the thing that they did was bad and what they can do in the future if it comes up again. But really what I need to do is find the root cause of this behavior, of this problem that we're seeing, so that we can eliminate all of the problems associated with it. If I sit a child down and talk to them about the fight they had at school and why the fight was a bad choice and all that stuff, then I'm only dealing with that one thing. And because the underlying issue is still going on, could be that they stop fighting, but it's going to pop up somewhere else. They're going to start arguing more, or they might even start doing something more extreme because that underlying thing is still there. Children's behavior is how they communicate. So if they're showing disruptive behaviors, it's because their mind is disrupted somehow. So what we have to do as the adults in their life is we have to show them that we see there's a reason for their behavior, that we understand they are not just bad kids doing bad things because they like doing bad things and like making us miserable, but they are showing these disruptive behaviors because they're trying to tell us something. Sometimes that message is very simple. I don't like this person. Sometimes that message is very complex. Like, my dad left when I was a kid and now I don't know how to relate to people who care for me. It could be any number of things. My job as a therapist is to get to that root cause of this behavior. So if I'm only addressing the behavior, I'm only ever going to stay on the surface of that thing. Let me give you an example of this. I worked with a child who would get very upset at school and run out of the classroom at school, and even ran out of the school at times. So the teachers and the parent called me and we're all talking about this, and they said, we need him to stop running out of the school. But through our discussion, what we were able to figure out is that this little boy has very low resilience, that when he started to get upset his immediate response was just to leave that environment because he just couldn't deal. He couldn't handle what was going on. So in play therapy, what I did is, rather than focusing on not running out of the classroom, I focused on building his resilience. And he kept challenging me to different board games that I have. Connect Four, he wanted to play tic-tac-toe. We played all sorts of different things, and he wanted to keep challenging me. But Stoic, no, this is not pre-recorded. I am live right now. But he wanted to show me, hey, I'm struggling with this. I'm dealing with this right now. And I need to build up this tolerance for frustration for when things don't go my way. Now, if I had only addressed running out of the classroom, that low resilience is going to pop up in other places. But if I deal with that low level of resilience, then I'm dealing with all the other issues that pop up no matter what is going on. So I need to target the root cause of the behavior, not just the behavior that you can see. The other thing to think of is with therapy, we have a term that's called unconditional positive regard. What that means is, no matter what you did, I am here for you and I am excited to see you. When we are constantly just bringing up the things that the child has done that were disruptive or harmful or hurtful, then what it tells them is that's the picture that they have of me. They look at me as this hurtful, harmful person. And that's not the message that we want to convey, because it's not the truth about what we believe about our clients. We believe that our clients have things going on that cause them to behave in these different ways, but we don't believe that someone is bad or broken because they have done something inappropriate or done something disruptive. So I need to show this child I accept you no matter what you have done throughout the week. Also, just another adult with a lecture isn't going to do anything. If you've already talked to your child about why this thing was bad and what they can do again in the future, then I don't need to have that same conversation with them. We're just rehashing something and bringing up something that the child doesn't have any interest in. And we're also not targeting the real problem that's going on. I understand it can be frustrating as a parent because you just want a quick fix. You want these behaviors to stop, and that's just not how mental health works. Mental health works as a process, and there's a lot of things that go into it every single session. It's that consistency, and that consistency is what will cause the change, because that consistency is what allows us to get to the root cause of these disruptive things. And then as we're consistent and as we provide support in the areas that the child needs support, then we'll start to see that behavior change as we deal with the root cause. And because we're dealing with the root cause, it won't pop up in other places. It will just, that behavior will go away and there won't be another one that just pops up to replace it. Hopefully that's helpful in understanding why a therapist might not directly address to a child, especially some of the disruptive things that they were doing. If you can see it, it's not the problem.